the City of Portland's Office of Crime Prevention, and specifically about the impact that office has had on my neighborhood. I've lived in Northeast Portland on 85th Avenue, just north of Fremont, for 7 years. My house is just 3 short blocks off of 82nd Avenue, and drug and prostitution activity is rampant there. My house has been broken into, and cars pull over for me if I go for a walk. I consider myself a pretty strong person, but over the last 7 years, I remained isolated from my neighbors because I had no tools to discern who I could trust, and I did not know how to go about creating change. Last fall, I learned about the Office of Crime Prevention, and I made a phone call to Brad Taylor, the crime prevention coordinator for my neighborhood. Brad came out to my house, did an assessment of my home, and made recommendations for what I could do to deter crime on my property. Brad also gave me the tools I needed to start a neighborhood watch program. With his help, we've organized a group of 33 neighbors and counting. Brad provided crime prevention training, including the right and wrong ways to illuminate our properties, the specifications for effective door locks, the importance of keeping our bushes trimmed, and the positive impact of territoriality. That's that feeling that you get when you step onto a well-maintained property, that you're in someone else's space and that space is cared for. The prostitution coordination team, which is made up of 4 police officers and a deputy district attorney, also attended our first neighborhood watch meeting. They encouraged us to call the police when we see prostitution activity in our neighborhood, as well as emailing them with as many details about both the prostitute and the John as we can. They have promised to follow up on every reported license plate belonging to a car seen picking up a woman in my neighborhood. My neighbors and I are now preparing to begin foot patrols. Brad Taylor will conduct a training teaching us what we need to know to stay safe while deterring crime simply by walking around and having a presence on our streets. We'll go out together at least once a month, and it'll be a time to get to know one another better while also preventing crime. In the 5 short months since becoming involved with the Office of Crime Prevention, we have evolved from neighbors living in isolated silos to neighbors that are in regular contact and wave to each other on the streets. We are sharing information about criminal activity we witness, and more importantly, we're brainstorming ways to curtail it. We are caring for each other's homes when neighbors go out of town. We are talking about becoming involved in a food co-op and sharing information about how we can support a Friends of Trees work group coming to our neighborhood. We are also investigating what it would take to turn a vacant lot, currently an eyesore and crime magnet, into a community garden. We're planning summer barbecues and looking into blocking off our streets for a big block party. To think that I have lived alongside most of these people for the past 7 years and I've never even seen most of them. Thanks to the support from the Office of Crime Prevention, I now feel safer in my home and empowered to create positive change in my neighborhood. I encourage you to lend your support to this very important office as they continue to support Portlanders to create not only safer neighborhoods, but stronger communities. Thank you very much for having me here this morning.